Hello everybody and most welcome back to my channel and to another game in the section Just for Fun. And I start to apologize. For 3 days I have not recorded and published. Just by passing, I will for a while, quite a long such maybe, be absent for some days now and then because of a cancer treatment. So please bear with me, but continue following the channel. Like if you like what I present. Support by liking and subscribing and sharing. And for you who need to read the moves and the video timestamps, you will find it all in the description. So here we go. We are back in 1985. Just after New Year's. And at that time, I had just won the game that was in the prior video in Just for Fun, when I played against Qd2 O-O from Poland. Then I went to, as a reserve player, play in a very strong junior tournament for everyone, even for sighted players, in Hallsberg in Sweden. They had got a person withdrew in the last moment, and as I was then visiting my at that time girlfriend, who lived very near to Hallsberg, they actually called me, I think, a day or so before, even the evening before the tournament, and asked me if I could replace the absent person. And okay, why not? Normally they wouldn't ask such a weak player like me. At that time, my national rating, you had to have ELO rating at 2205. That was the lowest ELO rating that existed at that time. My national rating was 1980, if I recall correctly. So below what they normally accepted. They would have maybe accepted players at least 2100. But okay, I was the only one available. It was an interesting tournament. I started playing in the morning, one round, to play the round that was actually from the day before, because I was in the last minute. I drew against a French player on 2080 national French rating, and then I continue actually taking a lot of points. Even against strong opponents. And I also, of course, lost the game, but normally I started to even beat players on 400 ratings above me. I don't know, maybe I was excited after the first Junior World Championship title. In round 8, I was one of the, in top. I don't remember exactly where I was. And then I played, this was the second last round. I played against a German player who was on 2230. And I was in such a mood that I got very grumpy. After 15-20 moves, I thought I was winning, and then I committed an error so that it could be a draw. If I played the best move, it would have been a draw by repetition. But I was in such a mood. I had beaten 2400, 2300 players, even with black, and now I didn't want to accept. I was a bit childish even at that time, that I should have a draw against a player who was only 250 points higher rated than me. Of course I couldn't, so I actually sacrificed the queen and put my white king on a4 in the middle game, and managed to get 3 pieces for the queen. A lot of complications, but after 9 hours fight, I lost. So anyway, next day, which was the last round, I was paired against a very strong opponent, and we actually played the first move first. I am black. He played 1 echo 4, and I put a video stamp there. Who was that strong white opponent? It was a player. His name was, because sadly enough he died young. He became a grandmaster, I think. He was probably international master at the time. His name was Robert Kuczynski from Poland. I think his rating, it isn't written in the documentation I got. I think it was something like 24.55 ELO. So he was clearly, let's say, yeah, very much higher rated than myself, almost 500 ELO points. But I was still in the mood, although I was beaten up the day before after a long game. I didn't have much choice because my opening repertoire was quite narrow. So I went for my beloved dragon. Charlie 5. We are in the Sicilian, but we will go to the dragon. White plays Knight Foxtrot 3. And I played pawn delta 6. Pawn to delta 6. White went on 3 delta 4. Pawn to delta 4. And I played Charlie takes delta 4. Pawn from Charlie takes delta 4. White played Knight takes delta 4. Knight takes delta 4. And I played Knight Foxtrot 6. Knight to Foxtrot 6. And White played Knight Charlie 3. Knight to Charlie 3. And Black played Pawn to Golf 6. Pawn to Golf 6. Yeah, here we have the dragon variation of the Sicilian defense. And I don't know, this is more or less fantasy because I didn't know, of course, what was going on in the mind of my opponent. But, of course, he would see his chance here. The last round being so much higher rated against this strange, stupid Swedish low-rated player who actually had played like a fool instead of accepting the draw, losing a long, painful battle the day before. At the same time, he had seen that I had beaten other strong players on 2400 as Black as well. So I don't know how his mood was, but he played one of the still main lines. Played Bishop Echo 3, by far the most popular move. And I played, after Bishop Echo 3 came Bishop Golf 7. Bishop to Golf 7. He played Pawn to Foxtrot 3. Pawn to Foxtrot 3. I played Knight Charlie 6. Knight to Charlie 6. It followed Queen Delta 2. Queen to Delta 2. And I castled kingside. Castled kingside. And here we have the same position as in Tukashevsky Magnusson that you found before in the prior video. And they continued this with the same main line, which is probably the best line even today. White played castles queenside. Castles queenside. And like in the previous game, I played the pawn sacrifice, pawn delta 5. Pawn to delta 5. Here I think the timestamp can be reasonable. Yeah, this is the famous pawn sacrifice from Konstantin Polonovsky. I think his name was like that. Sorry for mistreating beautiful names. From 1937. Here, White went for the most fashionable continuation. Pawn takes delta 5. Pawn takes delta 5. Then I played Knight takes delta 5. Knight takes delta 5. And White played Knight takes Charlie 6. Knight takes Charlie 6. Then I played Bravo takes Charlie 6. Bravo takes Charlie 6. So, here white is on a crossroad. I mentioned this in Dukashevsky Magnusson that white can capture a pawn by knight takes delta 5 and Charlie takes delta 5, queen takes delta 5. But black can then play queen Charlie 7. Queen to Charlie 7. And that seems to be a rook sacrifice, but it is not. Because if white plays queen takes alpha 8, queen takes alpha 8, capturing the rook in the corner, black will reply by bishop foxtrot 5. Bishop foxtrot 5. Thus threatening queen takes Charlie 2, checkmate. Because the bishop on foxtrot 5 protects Charlie 2. White can then, at the same time, the rook on foxtrot 8 threatens the queen on alpha 8. So white can't escape with the queen somewhere and at the same time protect checkmate. So white has to play queen takes foxtrot 8 check. Black plays king takes foxtrot 8. And white can now defend with, let's say, rook delta 2 or something, protecting Charlie 2. But it is well known that black has very, very good compensation for white has a pawn and a queen against 2 rooks. But black's position is very, very much favorable, because both the bishops, they are fantastic, and the queen can go to Bravo 7, for example, or Bravo 8, attacking on Bravo 2. And you have to watch out, of course, so you don't allow a rook coming in on Delta 8, checkmate, or something like that. But as long as you watch out a little bit, you would have the better position. So now you could go back to the position after Bravo takes Charlie 6 again. I can say in passing that white can actually take the pawn sacrifice with his capturing on Delta 5, but then white has to abstain from capturing queen takes Alpha 8. The rook is poisoned after queen Charlie 7. But white can play queen Charlie 5, but there is a lot of theory. Black has at least equality after queen to Bravo 7 or queen to Bravo 8, playing for the attack on the white's king position on Bravo 2. The bishop on Golf 7 is hitting there together with the queen, and maybe rook Bravo 8. It is more than enough for the sacrifice pawn. So this was just in passing. So after Bravo takes Charlie 6, white went for the topical move, I think even today, Bishop Delta 4. Bishop Delta 4. And here things have changed over the years. I'm not exactly sure. I think I have played this line as black later on with some success. Actually, I think I have won all my games as black when I have captured exchange bishops on Delta 4 here. Then after queen takes Delta 4, played queen Bravo 6. And let's see, how is it? Is it queen Bravo 6? Yeah, I think it is actually. And I have decent result with it. I think I've won 2 out of 2 here. But nowadays, I think theory says that white should keep a small advantage in that position. And it is a bit more boring position as well. in the mid 1980s, my reply was almost the only one. Black played pawn to echo 5, pawn to echo 5, threatening the bishop. You see that white has a far better pawn structure. Black has 3 pawn islands, but in return, black's pieces are well placed. And yeah, the knight on delta 5 is good. The bishop on golf 7, if now it is blocked by the pawn, but it can have a long-term impact on pressuring Bravo 2 in the long run. And thanks to having split pawns on Alpha 7 and Charlie 6, you in return for the bad pawn structure have a half-open file on Bravo, and that can be used for attacking white's king. So white went on with bishop to Charlie 5, bishop to Charlie 5, threatening the rook. And I played rook echo 8, rook echo 8. Yeah, after bishop Charlie 5, I think the most fashionable move at that time, probably it is still, I think rook echo 8 has got a revival, but for a long time, black played bishop echo 6 instead. But I think the last theory runs rather rook echo 8, but yeah, a lot of knowledge has been gained since 1985. My only knowledge about it was that bishop echo 6 is the most common, and I had not studied that line very much. But I remember that the first chess book I ever read myself was the Sicilian Dragon by 2 authors, Eric Moscow and Anthony Miles. Anthony Miles is a legendary chess grandmaster from the UK who died, I think, 30 years ago. I was happy enough to meet him at occasions, but yeah, he had many brilliant ideas and also very special, interesting personality. He fought along his own lines, and that was very successful in his chess games. Black played rook echo 8. Now my opponent started to think, because then it seems like he was a bit out of fear, and they also analyzed the game together afterwards. He had only studied the main line bishop echo 6, but he continued with knight takes delta 5, knight takes delta 5. I think knight echo 4 could have been preferable, even bishop Charlie 4. But okay, knight takes delta 5 is still okay. I played Charlie takes delta 5. Charlie takes delta 5. And here, again, it seems like white can win the pawn easily. Queen takes delta 5. Black recaptures. Queen takes delta 5. White plays rook takes delta 5. But black can actually play bishop echo 6 and follow up with bishop takes alpha 2, regaining the pawn with equality. I think white still has some pressure, but it is that was the theory at that time. Only some lines written in this book, Moscow Miles, and that was what the knowledge I had here. I think the line stopped here in Moscow Miles' book, if I recall correctly. So there wasn't so much theory on this at the time. Even with the chess engine, it works to play like this with black. It's maybe slight advantage to white, but that is not our the aim of this video to discuss the theory in this line, but to demonstrate what happens with what follows in the game, because it became bishop to Bravo 5, bishop to Bravo 5. And that is, I would say, a weak move. probably it would have been better to capture on delta 5. Bishop Bravo 5 seems good, developing a piece, threatening the rook on Echo 8, and yeah, black has to sacrifice the exchange. That means the rook for the bishop. Why not? Why would you maybe ask? If black plays rook Echo 6, then you don't have to sacrifice the rook. It is not threatened. But then white gladly captures on delta 5, because then my rook on Echo 6 blocks the bishop on Charlie 8, so I cannot come out and grab a pawn on Alpha 2. Neither is bishop delta 7 possibility, because then white would exchange bishops on delta 7 and then play queen takes delta 5, and I would not have enough compensation. But bishop Echo 6 is something that the dragon player gladly plays. I played bishop to Echo 6, bishop to Echo 6. And we have discussed earlier in this channel a lot of exchange sacrifices from black side in the Sicilian defenses, in the variations, mostly dragon and Najdorf. But here we come up with another. Normally we have checked rook takes Charlie 3 exchange sacrifices, and white plays Bravo takes Charlie 3, and black gets different kinds of compensation. Here it follows bishop takes Echo 8, bishop takes Echo 8, and queen takes Echo 8. Queen takes Echo 8. Okay, it's better to stop here to contemplate a bit of what is going on. I can tell you actually that black is clearly better in this position. Clearly, not just a little bit, clearly better. Black is an exchange down. But first of all, when you are sacrificing the exchange, you have not got any pawns for it. White's pawn structure has not been ruined in any way, like it was in this sacrifice on Charlie 3, and white's pawn structure became scattered. Here it is, white's pawn structure is completely harmonious. First, you have to check, when you sacrifice in such position, how many open files and half open files do we have? Not that many actually, or let's put it better like this. Is it easy or not for white to activate his rooks? Obviously not. The rook on Hotel 1 can be moved to Echo 1 and probably will, but the pawns on Delta 5 and Echo 5, they block the activities of the white rooks. Black's rook can be activated quite easily on Charlie 8 or Bravo 8. And black's bishops, they are doing great jobs, I must say. They are protecting the central pawns on Echo 5 and Delta 5, and in the future making it possible for the pawns to advance also. And at the same time, the bishop exerts pressure, at least, so to say. It's always threats like pushing pawn to Echo 4 to open the diagonal down to Bravo 2, or pawn to Delta 4 opening the diagonal from Echo 6 down to Alpha 2. So black has all the dynamic possibilities here, I would say. I ran it with stock with 16 just before recording, and if I recall correctly, I think black was up a pawn, maybe a little bit more even according to Stockfish, although being down the exchange. All right. White played King Bravo 1. King Bravo 1. During the game and in the analysis after the game, I was more concerned by queen to alpha 5. Queen to alpha 5. Then I thought it was unclear play, because my interpretation of the position at that time, remember, I was just, how old were I? Yeah, I was 18 years old, and didn't know much about chess at that time either. But I thought that I had to run with my alpha pawn to use it for attacking the white king. So queen to alpha 5 made sense to block that pawn. But according to Stockfish, queen to alpha 5 is one of the better moves. But black's position is favorable nevertheless. Black can just improve the position of the pieces quite slowly even. Queen Charlie 6. Pawn to hotel 5 is a move that Stockfish often gives just to take away possibilities for white to do something active on the king side. So, and then rook Charlie 8. Black can both attack on the queen side and at the same time strengthen the position on the king side, and also in the right moment push, for example, delta 4 to put more pressure down to alpha 2. So it is interesting to see that nowadays the computers love these kinds of exchange sacrifices. In the 1980s, at least for players on my level, we thought that we had to do things a bit more fast. We were feeling that we had sacrificed something and we had to get something quickly in return. But the compensation is very much positional and long-term. So you shouldn't be too stressed about being in exchange down as long as your pieces are that much better placed. Okay, king to bravo 1 is also a decent move, protecting alpha 2. Now I pushed pawn alpha 5. Pawn alpha 5. This is not the best move. Queen to alpha 4 would be preferable. Queen to Charlie 6 is another good move. Then white is maybe 1.5 pawn up. Rook Charlie 8 I think also was preferred by Stockfish. But yeah, alpha 5 reduces the advantage a little bit, but black is still up 0.8 pawns. Quite clear advantage. And why did I play alpha 5? Yeah, many reasons. One of them I have to admit was that I wanted to play rook Charlie 8 later on, maybe without bishop taking on alpha 7. Nowadays I wouldn't bother so much about that, because getting a half-open a-file often is preferable. It doesn't matter so much if white wins the alpha pawn, if you can go even more for the attack towards alpha 2. But alpha 5 is also, I had such an idea that I wanted to put pressure down to alpha 2, playing queen alpha 4, and then pawn to delta 4, and by that threatening on alpha 2. If white then sooner or later would play pawn to bravo 3 to block the diagonal from echo 6 to alpha 2, then white both would have problems on the dark squares. And I could then just move the queen from alpha 4 maybe to bravo 5 or to Charlie 6, and then push alpha 5, alpha 4. And in that way make it possible to open the alpha 5 by alpha captures on bravo 3. So all in all, my plan is to put delta 4, opening pressure to alpha 2, play queen alpha 4, so that white sooner or later has to play bravo 3, then retreat with my queen, that was threatened, and then push alpha 4 in order to open even more files on the queen side. So it is not the best way of play, but it is an easy plan to understand, I would say. White played bishop to alpha 3. Bishop to alpha 3. And I think white had to be far more active here, trying to play advance on the king side, maybe trying to open lines for the rooks. Maybe foxtrot 4 would be an idea, for example. But it's not an easy position to play. White retreated the bishop in order to give more protection to Bravo 2. And yeah, remember, white is a 2450 junior at that time. That would have meant even higher rating today, I would say. A strong player who became a very well-known grandmaster. And he tries to defend himself, but it shows how difficult the position is after he had grabbed the exchange on me earlier on. Maybe it wasn't that easy to just come and catch the pieces of this stupid blind Swedish player anyway, after all. Black played queen to alpha 4. Queen to alpha 4. I think queen Charlie 6 would also be decent, because black also can play delta 4 and queen delta 5 in order to provoke such a weakening move like Bravo 3. But okay, I play queen to alpha 4. And here we also see another point of why I wanted to have the pawn on alpha 5. That was to stop, for example, queen Bravo 4 in such position. Black doesn't really want to exchange queens. If the queens would be exchanged, the compensation would lower significantly, I would say. White developed rook hotel to echo 1, rook hotel to echo 1, and it is time to open pawn to delta 4, pawn to delta 4. And this is a very important concept, to use the central pawns. They are a great part, very important part of black's compensation. Now, they're easily, now we have threats down towards alpha 2. The king defends, but the bishop is on. If the queen comes to Charlie 4, then white would have to do something about the pressure. So white played queen to Charlie 1, queen to Charlie 1, thinking that he sooner or later would have to play Bravo 3, and therefore also wanted to defend the bishop on alpha 3. Here I went wrong, played bishop foxtrot 8. Bishop foxtrot 8. This was a clear blunder. Just a moment, I have to put another timestamp. Yeah, bishop foxtrot 8 is giving away almost all advantage in one go. It is because white now should sacrifice the exchange himself. It could follow rook takes echo 5, bishop takes alpha 3, rook takes echo 6, that is the sacrifice that you have to do, foxtrot takes echo 6, Bravo takes alpha 3. And black would be a pawn down, but have clear compensation because of the weak king. The white has problems with his king safety, but it's just a slight edge for black. So bishop foxtrot 8 was a stupid move. I could have continued like rook Charlie 8, queen Charlie 4. Yeah, let's say queen Charlie 4 would be easy. Then white has to play Bravo 3 and retreating maybe queen Charlie 6 and then pushing alpha 4, according to the plan I just outlined. I don't really remember why I wanted to play bishop foxtrot 8. Probably I just overlooked the exchange sacrifice on Echo6. I don't mention it. I've taken the game from a Swedish chess journal called Tidskrifter Schack from issue 2, 1985. I don't mention rook takes Echo5. So, and my opponent didn't see it either in the post-mortem when we analyzed the game. So we probably both took for granted that the white scattered pawns on the king side would be too dangerous. So, yeah, but I was clearly winning. If had I played Queen Charlie 4, for example, Rook Charlie 8 would also have been good. Almost everything else than I played, then I would have one position. But thanks, but I was lucky. So thanks to white's move, that was pawn to bravo 3, pawn to bravo 3. I now have a completely won game again. So you can see that even on relatively strong level, I mean, okay, my opponent was 2450 and I was just under 2000. I blow the advantage and then he returned the advantage. And it is, I think, also psychologically interesting that if you are pressed a long time, then you start to feel shaky when you see that your pawn structure in front of your king can be destroyed. And then you maybe just don't think about such things like rook takes Echo 5, rook takes Echo 6. You just think you can't let that happen, that you have to split your pawns. But after bravo 3, yeah, the threat of course was bishop takes alpha 3, continued by rook bravo 8 check, yeah, bishop takes alpha 3, bravo takes alpha 3, rook bravo 8 check, king alpha 1, queen Charlie 4, winning for black, for example. So I now just cashed in. Queen takes alpha 3. Queen takes alpha 3. And white plays queen takes queen. Queen takes alpha 3. I played bishop takes alpha 3. Bishop takes alpha 3. And it followed rook takes Echo 5. Rook takes Echo 5. So white has at least got a pawn, but we have a position with white has a pawn and a rook for the two bishops. That is clearly winning for black. There must be something very special with the position if white would survive this, but black even has the better position. White has a serious weakness on Charlie 3, for example, that we will see how black can use. So I played bishop to bravo 4. Bishop to bravo 4. Stockfish recommends actually bishop delta 6 and then follow up with bishop takes hotel 2 to gain a pawn majority on the king side. But I think bishop bravo 4 is a very good move also. It's almost the same strength. White played pawn to alpha 3. And yeah, you can ask me, why didn't white capture? White played alpha 3, but why not rook takes delta 4? Yeah, the answer is quite easy. Bishop Charlie 3 would threaten the rook on delta 4, and if that one moves, the rook on Echo 5 would hang. So white would then lose the exchange, okay, getting a pawn for it, but then we would have an ending with black is a piece up, the bishop on Echo 6. White has two pawns, but being very far from having enough, because black is still having the initiative, and yeah, 2 pawns for a piece is simply not enough in the ending. Not in such ending. So after alpha 3, I played bishop Charlie 3. Bishop Charlie 3. So now the bishop is a monster. It covers delta 4 and alpha 5, and it also makes it very difficult for white to activate the rook on delta 1. You cannot go to delta 2 or echo 1 in the first place. If you go to delta 3 with the rook, black can harass you with bishop foxtrot 5, and then you have to return. If white's rook would be activated to the echo file, then you maybe have to play rook foxtrot 1 to foxtrot 2 to echo 2. But it takes a lot of time, and black can do a lot of naughty things meanwhile. So, white played rook Charlie 5, rook to Charlie 5. At least this makes it difficult for black to push delta 3 at a certain moment, because then the rook would capture on Charlie 3. I played hotel 5, pawn to hotel 5. And that is a good move. I try to take more space on the king side, and it is difficult to break through on the queen side only. So creating more weaknesses is what is asked for. And we will see how this is demonstrated very, I may brag a bit. I'm very impressed how I played this part of the game as only 18 years. I wouldn't have played it better today. White played rook foxtrot 1, rook to foxtrot 1. Maybe planning rook foxtrot 2 and rook echo 2, trying to get some activity for the rooks, but it will not work out. I play rook echo 8, and that is not a nice move to meet as white, because if you play rook to foxtrot 2, try to carry through your plan, black can play bishop foxtrot 5 and threatening rook to echo 1 check, king alpha 2, rook to alpha 1 checkmate, because the bishop on Charlie 3 protects the rook. And that is also, you see, hotel 5 move is also to make sure that white can't play golf 4 when the bishop comes to foxtrot 5. So, alright, rook echo 8 was played. White played king to Charlie 1, king to Charlie 1. Yeah, white can't really improve the position so much. Maybe this is the only piece that can be improved, the king, because hoping to eventually be able to sneak out maybe to echo 2 or something. But it will not happen. Black played bishop to foxtrot 5, bishop to foxtrot 5. And those bishops, they have such power. White played king delta 1, king delta 1. And the time control, I don't remember for sure. I think it was, at that time we played 40 moves in 2.5 hours. No, yeah, 2.5 hours. And but no increment was not used. It was analog clocks at that time. Or it might have been 42s in 2 hours also. And we are now on move 28. White was a little low on time, so I just played rook echo 3, rook to echo 3. And why do I talk about these things connected? Yeah, it is to tell you that when you have an advantageous position like I had right here, a good strategy is to just improve the position of your pieces without threatening something very, very concrete. That makes it difficult for your opponent, who is in time pressure, to find a good move, because there are many moves that will worsen your position, but to play a move that doesn't worsen, it's not so difficult. It is not so easy to find it if you don't have a concrete threat to consider. If you only go threatening this, then your opponent will say, okay, he threatens there, I have to only one move, I must protect that thing, or do this or that. Then it makes it easier to play fast. But rook echo 3, it puts the rook on an active square, and if white in the future would advance the g pawn, the f pawn would be a little bit, the golf pawn, the foxtrot pawn would be a little bit more weak, and so on. Just small nuances. You don't have to do so much in such kind of position, and you have time to improve your position bit by bit. Maybe sooner or later advance with the black king, maybe push the pawn from hotel 5 down to hotel 3, trying to create a weakness on foxtrot 3, for example. There are many ways, but yeah, white played hotel 3. White plays hotel 3, and this is good demonstration to what I just said. That was actually why I just said it, because white was probably looking, where can I go? I cannot move, I cannot improve the rook's positions very much, and I don't want black to push hotel 4 and hotel 3 or such thing. Maybe white wants to push golf 4, getting some kind of initiative, but hotel 3 weakens the white's position seriously. And if you so wish, you can pause and think what you would play as black here. Yeah, in the game I pushed hotel 4. Hotel 4. This is a very good move because I now gain the control over golf 3. And yeah, black has the very simple plan, simply marching the king up to foxtrot 4 into golf 3 and trying to capture golf 2. And to stop that, white has to take on even more weaknesses, and that is what will finish the game. White played rook delta 5, rook to delta 5. Just a waiting move. I play king golf 7, starting the king march. King to golf 7. White plays rook delta 6. He wanted to rook to delta 6, yeah. He wanted to stop me from playing king foxtrot 6, probably. But I played king hotel 6. King hotel 6. Threatening to come out to with king golf 5, foxtrot 4, golf 3. White can't allow that. So white played he played rook delta 5 first, rook delta 5. I played king golf 5, king to golf 5. And white has to play pawn to foxtrot 4 check. Pawn to foxtrot 4. And as I was already told a couple of times, the threat is king to foxtrot 4 to golf 3. If white protects with rook to golf 1, then black can just play king to foxtrot 2 or hotel 2, threatening the rook, and then start to grab all the pawns on the king side. Pawn to foxtrot 4, and I retreated king to foxtrot 6, king to foxtrot 6. And white protected golf 2 by rook golf 1. Rook to golf 1. Yeah, moves like rook delta 6 check or something, they're quite meaningless. They are not a problem for black because I could just play king to echo 7, for example, Then the rook moves, and I play bishop to e4, starting to pressure golf 2. But now after rook to golf 1, it immediately followed bishop to e4. Bishop to e4. Now it threatens rook golf 3. Rook to golf 3, winning the pawn on golf 2 simply. And if you win that one, then hotel 3 would also be a very weak pawn. And that pawn can, then the hotel 4 pawn can march down to the promotion square on hotel 1. White played rook golf 5, rook to golf 5, trying to protect on the golf 5. Black anyway played rook to golf 3, rook to golf 3, and yeah, it's not much to do here. If we exchange rooks on golf 3, rook takes golf 3 and hotel takes golf 3, then black can continue simply with king foxtrot 5 and then capture on foxtrot 4. Yeah, if white plays rook foxtrot 1 in any variation here, then it follows simply bishop. Yeah, you have to watch out, but you can grab the pawn on the golf 2, and then you would also threaten hotel 3, and probably foxtrot 4 will also fall. I think black will remain with at least 2 passed pawns on the king side. So rook to golf 3 doesn't work. So it followed rook to golf 4. Rook to golf 4. And I anyway captured rook takes rook, rook takes golf 4, rook takes golf 4. White played hotel takes golf 4, hotel takes golf 4. And now you see, those pawns on golf 4 and foxtrot 4, they are in a way shutting out my king from entering to foxtrot 5 or something to attack the pawns and come in on the king side. But I have the move golf 5, pawn to golf 5. And this is a very good move. For example, you see, I threaten golf takes foxtrot 4, first of all. And if white plays, let's say, foxtrot takes golf 5, I play king takes golf 5, and then I just continue with king takes golf 4 and king golf 3, and I simply will capture the pawn on golf 2. Note also that if white would try to come to defend of the golf 2 pawn with his king, going king echo 2 at the moment, black just captures on Charlie 2. And then the delta 4 pawn also becomes a passed pawn just 3 squares from promotion. So, and yeah, finally, if white plays foxtrot 5, you just play king echo 5, threatening king foxtrot 4, and just chopping off the white pawns of the king side. So, white played golf 3, pawn to golf 3. But as a beautiful end, it followed pawn to hotel 3. Pawn to hotel 3. Threatens hotel 2, followed by hotel 1 queen, and the bishop on echo 4 protects hotel 1. So white would have to capture with the rook on hotel 1 finally, and you grab with the bishop. Thus black would be 2 bishops up, and therefore white resigned the game. I think what we can bring with us from this game is that here we had another exchange sacrifice. What made the compensation so clear was that black had a pawn center that was protected. It was difficult for white to activate the rooks, and the white king was less safe. The black's king was perfectly safe. There wasn't any enemy troops around for miles, but meanwhile the black pieces started to circle like wasps around white's king's position. So the pawn center, the two very well placed bishops, half open files against the white kings. That made the compensation very, very clear, even winning for black. What is another thing that we can take with us is that you saw how white, in a bit of time trouble, when I played rook echo 3 at around move 29, I think, was such a waiting move that's very effective when your opponent is low on time. You just improve the position, and then it followed hotel 3, and I could play hotel 4, and then it was so easy to just break through. For sure, it would not have been very difficult to win either way. I mean, I would have started with improving my king's position, and probably tried to create some weaknesses on the king's side, on the king in the white's pawn position on the king's side, getting similar weakness on golf as I got in the game. But white helped me a lot. For example, after rook echo 3, if white just stands there, let's play rook golf 1, rook foxtrot 1, you can continue with hotel 4, and then after playing hotel 3, you would have created weakness on foxtrot 3 in white's position. Of course, you have to calculate so you do it in the right moment. But if white then gets, let's say the Xh golf takes hotel 3 and bishop takes hotel 3, then you can play on two weaknesses on the king's side, both foxtrot 3 and hotel 2. Then you can march the king to foxtrot 4, attack on foxtrot 3. It's very, very difficult, I would say impossible, for white to defend. So, yeah, I hope you enjoyed the game. It was fantastic for me. This tournament was completely crazy. Everything, not everything, because I lost 2 games, but it felt like a lot of things worked out for me. So after winning the Junior World Championship and playing in this tournament, I jumped in 3 weeks' time from 1918 rating to 2137. Not too bad, not too bad. Thank you for listening, and I hope that you will see more videos in the near future.